If you've been dealing with old limiting beliefs that have been keeping you stuck in your life, this is the video for you. Why these negative thoughts keep repeating in your life is because you don't know how to attack it. You don't know how to break the pattern. You don't know how to overcome this challenge. This is how it works. Your thoughts control your feelings, which then your feelings control your actions, which then your actions control your results. And that alone is what creates your identity. That is what you think is true. Because your mind is wired to think that is true. If you keep thinking the same thing, you're going to think that's true. Your mind is built to keep you comfortable. It doesn't want you to feel uncomfortable. So you got to figure out how to break that negative loop pattern. And in order for you to break that negative loop pattern, you gotta identify the problem. Write down your notebook the negative thought that you're dealing with. And then on a new piece of paper, you write the positive thought, the opposite of that negative thought on a new piece of paper. And then you take the negative thought and you burn it because you want to get rid of that. You want to get rid of that old identity. You don't want to be that person no more. You want to become the new person that you dream of. Once you figure out what the positive thought is, the opposite of the negative thought, you want to write it down for at least 15 minutes a day, in the morning and at night before you go. This will start rewiring the old negative thought into a positive thought. For example, you might have a problem that I'm not the best. But once you start telling yourself that you are the best with you applying this, your mind is going to automatically start believing in it. You're going to start believing in yourself that you are the best. I am the best. And slowly and surely you're going to start noticing your words change, your energy is going to feel better. You're going to believe in yourself more. But this doesn't happen unless you do what is required. You gotta do this every day. You gotta put in the work. You can't lack. You gotta keep going no matter what. Once you figure out the negative thought and you write down the positive thought, you keep doing it it takes at least 90 days to reprogram your mind to start acting like a new person. And then your identity, you gotta start acting like the new person that you want to become. Because if you don't act like the new person, you're not gonna feel like him. You're not gonna get the results that you truly want. You gotta start acting like the new version of yourself. I know you might feel uncomfortable at first doing this, but feeling uncomfortable is what is your sign that you are going in the right direction. Because if you don't feel uncomfortable, you're not going in the right direction, bro. Let's be honest. You gotta feel that uncomfortable in you. And obviously you're gonna feel fear too, because your identity is trying to fight against you. It doesn't want you to change. It wants to keep you safe. Your mind is built for survival. It doesn't want you to change. So you gotta tell yourself that I'm not that person no more. I'm this new person. And regardless of what this old person is trying to do, you fight it with this person. You don't let the old self beat the new self. And that is how you overcome challenges. By the way, if you're watching this and you tell yourself, yeah, that is exactly what I've been dealing with. I do work with people one-on-one, and there is a link down below in the description where you can apply to work with me. No pressure. Only if you feel called to level up in your life. But once again, I myself felt this too. I was stuck in a negative loop pattern. I didn't know how to break it. I felt stuck. I was a barber that didn't believe in himself, and I thought my haircuts were not good. Let's be honest, I thought they weren't the best. And that alone made me not want to post my videos on Instagram to be able to attract more clients into my business. And that is what kept me stuck, that belief that I'm not the best. But once I started to study this material, my life started to change. I started to rewire my brain into thinking that I am the best. And that alone started to create more belief in myself. My results started to change. I started to attract more clients. I started to get more money in my life. And I finally felt like I figured it out. But I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I felt scared because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to post because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't know if my haircuts were even good enough. But once I changed that belief, everything changed for me. I started to believe in myself. I started to act different. My energy felt different. My clients even started to notice. I knew I had more potential in myself, but I just didn't know what it was until I figured out that I needed to study and I needed to figure out what was going on in my life. And that is when I figured out that I wanted to be able to teach this to the world. I wanted to help other people in need who didn't know how to escape the negative loop pattern, so they could be able to hit their goals and be able to break the patterns and be able to pursue more in their life and be able to have a more positive life and stop attracting all this negativity in themselves and start bringing more life into themselves. Nothing changes in your life until you make the change for yourself. The moment you decide to think differently is when everything changes for you. Drop a comment down below if something clicked for you.